All right. Let's talk about what people aren't paying attention to, which is an article on Friday, or articles that are just starting to be picked up on mainstream media. So, Washington Hoax on Friday releases a UN Human Rights Office calls on U.S. police to limit use of force in Portland, right? So the Twinkies are out there, day number 8,542. And these communist little assholes are standing right next to their communist teachers, and they're causing all kinds of havoc. But our peacekeepers, well, they like to use tear gas. And tear gas, the UN does not like tear gas. They don't like rubber bullets. They don't like all of these things that we use to disperse crowds. Now, you probably heard me say this on Parlor articles, but spray them with skunk piss and unleash the canines, right? Get these dumb little hot pockets back into their mom's basement so they can get their evening feed, watch their Rick and Morty, and play some first-person shooter video games, because that's what they like to do. And let's be done with this, okay? So a little bit of background, right? Ted the Toolbox Wheeler gets out there last week, decides, hey, I'm with you guys, and they whip the shit out of that little pussy, Ted Wheeler, right? Because he thinks he's doing what? What is Ted Wheeler doing? That's a whole different episode. I beat the shit out of Ted Wheeler and Jenny Durkin over and over and over again, and Mayor de Blasio over and over again, that you guys are weak leaders. You aren't even leaders. I don't even want to put those words in my mouth in reference to you, because you suck. You are absolute worthless pussies when it comes to holding your seat in office, which is the fundamental core responsibility of yours, is to do what? Maintain the safety of your citizens, not a few, but all. So you pussies get out there and decide that you're going to do what? Stand with the few against the many? Is that what you're doing? Is that what you're doing? All right, let's get into this. UN, United Nations, Human Rights Council, made up, it's a rotation of these other countries that put their officials in place to determine if civil rights are being violated. So they've cautioned the United States. And I'm going to give you some inside information of what happens, being that I had a little bit of experience with this in my Army days. So the UN comes in and they say, hey, you violated the civil rights through blah, 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 Geneva Convention, UN resolutions, all of this other stuff. And then what happens next? Now, let's back up a little bit, okay? So they don't like the use of tear gas. I get it. It's better than real bullets. We're going to get into that in a moment. But the United Nations Human Rights Office on Friday called the U.S. security forces to limit their use of force against peaceful protesters. These aren't protesters. These are rioters. These are rioters. Stop using the word protesters. It's a term of convenience to fit a narrative, okay? Think about this. Think about this for just a moment. These groups of Hot Pocket Twinkies show up at your house, the Hot Pocket generation. They show up at your house and they decide they're going to damage, for whatever reason, because now they're showing up at city council members' houses, because that Fruit Loop, whatever her name is, can't even think of her name off the top of my head, is just leading these protesters to other city council members' houses. They are threatening the lives of their family. Now, if they showed up to your house, is it reasonable to assume that you would defend yourself? Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, but that isn't the narrative that the world is seeing, because you have these media groups out there that are just pushing this narrative in a way. Protesters, stop. That's like saying that if your kid stabs you with a knife, well, they were just throwing a temper tantrum. No, they were assaulting you. Okay, we have to stop with the bullshit. That's what's happening in our media. They're fitting their narrative. Let's talk about the UN again. I'm just bouncing all over the place because, frankly, it's Monday and I'm already pissed off. I'm already pissed off that these people are going in and talking about all of this shit in a way that's like, what, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? Are you serious? Are you serious? These people are going out every night, standing arm in arm with their teachers, their communist teachers. The American Taliban is standing arm in arm with their teachers and mom, right? Mom's got to get out there now and defend her babies because there aren't enough kittens to adopt at the local humane society. Okay? It's a failure. We're experiencing the failure of parenting. Anyhow, golly, let's get back to it. So the UN comes in and says, hey, you got to stop doing this. Okay, this breaks our rules of everybody who sits in their ivory towers and tells everybody else how to act. So let's break this down. Elizabeth, whatever her name is, Titchy Fisselberger. She's in charge. She's from Austria. Got it. What the flying shit has Austria ever done other than give up? Called it like it was. World War II. You gave up. You guys are weak. Austria is a country. You're weak. You're weak. I said it. All right. Now who's doing this? Oh my gosh. Wait. Hold on. Who's currently on that board? Libya. Number one. Libya. They've killed some of our own, right? Benghazi. They've killed some of our soldiers. They've killed a lot of people. Libya. Sudan. I'm going to pick on Sudan. I have Sudan open in a whole different tab because Sudan, you have a warm place in my heart. And I'm going to explain why after I talk about, let's just go through this. Somalia. Ilhan Omar, terrorist Omar. Is this you? Yes, it is, right? Marry your brother, cousin, sister, but whatever it is, come over to our country illegally, funnel money, don't give a shit. You're in my backyard. Don't give a shit about the rioting and the looting and everything that happened in your district, you dumb son of a bitch. That's right. Ilhan Omar, the pirate. Democratic Republic of Congo. Really? Didn't we just send in UN peacekeepers because you couldn't control your own damn country? Yup. Nigeria. Nigeria is just murdering hundreds of thousands of Christians based on their religion. Murdering them. Okay? Allowing them to be murdered. However you want to say it. Senegal, I couldn't point that damn country out on a map. Who the hell cares about you? Bahrain, Fiji, Philippines. Afghanistan. Afghanistan is on the list. Are you serious? Afghanistan is on the list telling us, warning us about human rights violations? A country that firmly believes in what? In what? What do you believe in? You believe in, I don't know, women as property, Sharia law? And you're going to tell us about human rights violations for using tear gas and making people cry? I got news for you. Crying. The Hot Pocket generation is used to crying as they clutch their participation trophies and sit in their safe space. They're used to it. We just help them cry for their 200th time today because that's what they're good at. Okay? Jeez, oh Pete, Qatar. Are you serious? Qatar. Pakistan. One of the most corrupt governments in history. If they aren't stealing enough money from their people, they will put other people in place to steal more. Pakistan. Are you serious? These are the people who are threatening, and this is a serious threat. And we're going to talk about it. Okay? We're going to talk about what this means because it's important that you understand what it means. They have the right, because we're part of the UN, to send in troops. You can have blue helmet soldiers from all walks of life in all countries, boots on the ground in the United States, Russia, Pakistan, Afghanistan. These people are going to roll down our city streets with tanks, right? Personnel carriers, APCs, all of this other stuff, and they're going to tell us how to run our country. They're going to tell us how to run our country because we're using tear gas because we're making the crybabies cry. Armenia, Poland, got it. Slovakia, Ukraine, right? I'm not really worried about Ukraine. Ooh, there's a big one right there. Venezuela. Venezuela is telling us how to run shit in our country. Venezuela. Seriously, Venezuela. Have you seen the videos of them using water cannons? Water cannons on their people? Venezuela? Are you serious? Wow. This is what you have going on right now. You have terrorist countries full of terrorists telling us that we're violating people's civil rights because we made them cry, that we use CS gas. I got news for you, okay? I got news for you. When I was back in my Army days, there was something that I did twice a year. And what I did was I took all my soldiers to the gas chamber, and we did PT in the gas chamber, and they puked their brains out and got rid of all of that goofy shit that was in their lungs. And they didn't get sick. It was the best flu shot in the world. We did that twice a year, in the fall and in the spring. And I had healthy soldiers for the rest of the year. Okay? Somebody got the sniffles. God forbid you show up to my formation with the sniffles, because guess what? We're running over to the gas chamber and we're going to do PT in the gas chamber. I'll get you cleaned out, troop. I'll get you cleaned out. Don't worry about it. All right. So I picked on a whole bunch of countries. By all means, you should pick on them too, because after all, we still have boots on the ground in Afghanistan, but they're going to tell us how to do things. Are you serious? Let's look at Sudan. Sudan, this is going to be a long video. It might be 20 minutes. Bear with me. Sudan holds a special place in my heart. Special place in my heart because, after all, what you're not seeing on Wikipedia, because all of these little jellyfish go in and change Wikipedia, and I'm going to call out the conservatives, because if you aren't editing Wikipedia, it's your fault that it isn't accurate. I've been an editor. It's free. It's free to go in and edit and make sure that the content is accurate. You guys want to pick on Jimmy Wales? Shame on you. Jimmy Wales isn't one of the people. He created a free platform where anybody can go in and put in some sweat equity and maintain accuracy. But you guys just want to sit there and post and tweet and all of this other stuff, the same shit, while you're sitting in front of your Beavis and Butthead or the Simpson cartoons. Get off your ass. Get off your ass and sign up as an editor for Wikipedia and maintain real history. Okay? I'm tired of it. I sit here and watch everybody bitch and moan and complain, and you ain't doing shit. You aren't doing shit. Anyway, Sudan. Special place in my heart for Sudan. 20 years of civil war. It might even be longer than that. 300,000 people have been killed just in Darfur, however the hell you say it. I don't give a shit. Sudan holds a special place in my heart, and I'm going to tell you why. One of my really good friends, who I served with, who was one of my soldiers, we served nearly our entire term in the United States Army together. His name was Gary Swenchonis. And Gary and I served in the Army. There's some good, bad, and ugly. All right. We got out right about the same time, and I decided to walk down that civilian path. But he decided to join the Navy. And he was killed on the USS Cole. October 12th of 2000. October 12th of 2000, Gary Swenchonis was killed on the USS Cole. Do you know where the people who killed him, the terrorists who killed him, do you know where they trained for that mission to go kill my dear friend? Sudan. Okay? They trained in Sudan. This is the country telling us. And as a matter of fact, not only did his family sued Sudan and won, because they were guilty. They were guilty of training forces to cause terrorism. They won their lawsuit, and the country of Sudan to this day has refused to pay out on the lawsuit. Okay? These are the people who are who are judging us right now. And if we can't get it figured out, they're going to do it for us. And they're going to send in the blue helmets. The blue helmets. The peacekeepers. Do you believe that? Tell me that if you have a soldier from Sudan, boots on the ground, whose country is known for a civil war that's lasted forever, who is known to train terrorist cells, and government being a part of that training, they're going to be boots on the ground here over the Hot Pocket generation, crying like little bitches because we shot some tear gas at them. Let's talk about what a UN security detail means, okay? Here's a picture of what it looks like. You're going to have all these other soldiers from all these other countries. Do you see any tear gas in these pictures? Do you see any rubber bullets in these pictures? Here's a good one. Here's some ladies here. Hell, they got knives. We're going to call in the big guns, the real guns. And here's what they're going to do. And this goes out to Ted the Toolbox Wheeler and Jenny Durkin and Bill de Blasio. When they show up, they have real bullets. They have real knives. They don't take the side of the police, and they don't take the side of the military. And what they do is they stand in front of people. And if you come at them, they're going to use lethal force. Lethal force in their duties. Okay? All those AK-47s that you see, they're just going to come in with, I don't know, tanks. Here's a good picture right here. Okay? This is what this looks like. This is from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Here's a whole bunch of foreign soldiers on the ground in their APCs, personnel carriers. See that bottom left of that picture? That's a gun. That's a gun with real bullets. Okay? They're coming in and they're taking over. Now, I don't know. Maybe you want that. Is that what these failed mayors of Seattle and Portland and New York City and, I don't know, Austin, Texas? Shame on you, Austin, Texas. I've been to Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas was a beautiful place. But the fucking people that left all of these communist states moved to Austin because they destroyed their own, and now they're destroying a perfectly good city with their bullshit. Pull your heads out of your asses. These people are going to come in with their equipment, their guns, their knives, their everything. And you know whose fault it is? It's the mayor's fault. Mayor's fault across the country. You can't control your city. You want to do what? What is it that you want to do? You want to overturn your own government? What is it that you're standing for? Freedom to assemble? These aren't assemblies. These aren't peaceful protests. These are rioters that are damaging your city. And you're taking a position and you're defending the few against the many. Now, I'm not an economist. I tell everybody I'm not the brightest crayon in the box, but I'm not the dullest either. You have business owners, taxpayers, citizens in your cities who are suffering at the hands of who? People who have never accomplished anything in their lives are crawling out of their mama's basement. And their mama couldn't keep their marriage together. And their mama collects fur babies. And they're going to stand out there and cry and whine and do all of this other stuff. And while I'm on that subject, I saw some stupid ass video over the weekend about how veterans are out there. Bullshit. What were there, 10 of them? They got the chair force, fucking pussies. The chair force gets out there in their PT uniforms. You know, their version of PT is going out riding a bicycle. You get all these veterans, they don't speak for me. There are 9.3 million veterans in this country, and I guarantee you that the 10 you put on the news don't speak for probably 20 of us. The entire network of the veterans that turned into communists, you put on the news. We need to pull our heads out of our asses because this is a serious story. This is a serious story that people are not paying attention to. I don't give a shit. I don't give a flying fuck about Joe Biden right now, because when the blue helmets show up, that's serious. Y'all better pay attention, because there's some real shit happening that is not being covered on the news, because we're too busy watching our next meme and our next videos and talking about, you know, how this needs to be different. And who gives a shit? Go out and do something. Go out and do something. Because if you don't, the blue helmets are going to show up. You ever seen that movie Red Dawn? The blue helmets are going to show up. Over what? The Hot Pocket generation? The crybabies? We need to be better. We need to do something different. Pay attention. We ain't doing it. We'll post this out, share it out to Parler. I appreciate you, Parler. You're giving me a platform to speak freely. Unlike Twitter. Get off Twitter. Stop being a twit. Shitbook. Hell, I got 2 more days in Facebook jail on another 30-day stint of speaking my mind. Because after all, I don't have freedom of speech. Hit the like button. Subscribe. We'll bring you more of these. Pay attention. There is a war happening. There is a war happening. There is a war brewing over the war that's already happening that we are not winning right now. Why? Because the people who are in charge of making sure that we win those wars are not doing their jobs. Ted the Tool Wheeler, Jenny Durkin. Don't get me started on Jenny Durkin, worthless piece of shit. Bill de blah blah. I'm going to go out and paint on a street and show solidarity, pussy. Hit the like and subscribe button. We'll bring you some more of these. If not, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a silenced voice at some point.